Hey everybody, Tameem here, founder and CEO of TalktheTalk Creative, aka the SaaStronaut. Today I have one of my favorite clients, Robby Bryant from Campaign Monitor. And in this quick video, we're just going to be talking about his experience with us so far, working in the last 6 months with us, how that's been, where they were, where they are now, how they felt about the overall partnership and whatnot. So please, without further ado, Robby, please introduce yourself briefly and I'll shoot you over some questions.
Sure. Well, that was a good start. Hi, everybody. Thanks for having me. I'm the Lifecycle Marketing Leader for Campaign Monitor. We make email marketing easy, pretty, automated in that order. And we handle the entire marketing funnel from top to bottom, from awareness to sign up for Campaign Monitor trials, and also look at what users are actually doing when they become customers and try to improve their experience later on down in the app.
And Robby's killing it at what he's doing too. No doubt about that. So Robby, before we started working together, what was the biggest pain point you faced with SEO and organic growth?
I would say probably the resources to produce it. We are a departmentalized organization. We were working with fractional resources. So getting people to create the content, design the content, deploy the content, the whole production line itself didn't actually exist. And over time, we had various pieces of the production line in place, but without the entire sequence in order, you don't get that polished outcome that you get when you understand all of the pieces and working in concert.
Okay. And what made you decide to partner with us instead of handling it in-house or going with another agency?
We were strapped for resources. We were looking at the cost of bringing in people full-time versus working with a partner via some sort of contract setup. And just in terms of total opportunity that we thought we could get out of SEO versus what we wanted to invest in it, it seemed like contractually that was going to be a better solution. But I'd say it probably went beyond just cost though. Like in terms of finding the right solution and finding the right person, that's really hard to do. So I was basically scanning kind of the landscape for somebody who knew what they were doing. And I gravitated towards you guys based off of the messaging and the broadcast that you're putting out, because it all seemed to align with what I understood. It made sense. And I knew that you got it. And I wanted to work with someone who just got it.
That makes sense. Yeah, I recall even in our Slack conversations, you said the LinkedIn content I was posting particularly resonated with you and prompted you to book a call with us.
Yeah, no, I mean, all of your SEO insights, I've told you this before, but my favorite one was if you're making content to promote yourself, give people something to steal. It's common sense. Everything has to be transactional. So yeah, I brought it up. I still continue to read your content because it's no nonsense and to the point. And we all need some of that. And that's also kind of the way you work in terms of how we work together. Like the sprints, we catch up at the top of the sprint, we touch base a little bit in between, and then we catch up at the end. Like you guys handle, I would say reasonably 80 to 85% of the entire production line with little input from us. We need that additional 20 to 15 to 20% input, obviously, because the content that we're end up producing, we have to help shape it. But you get us so far along the way there. The word streamlined is used a lot, but it has been a largely hands-off process, and having you guys supplement kind of the bottom of our funnel.
That's amazing. And that's kind of bleeding into the third question that I was going to ask, and that's just been, no, that's great. It's great. How has the experience of just working with our team been? What stood out to you about our approach? And especially in the beginning, before you even paid the first dime, like how has the onboarding process, the information process, and the overall proposal been like since the beginning?
I would say you folks are a concept I like to exemplify as good faith. You came forward and you laid out a very clear outline of what you were going to tackle and accomplish, and you relentlessly pursue it. That number one, it stood out because it was very clear what you were going to do, how you were going to do it, and why you were going to do it. And that is a great differentiator just to start, okay? But here's the above and beyond. You come back after the fact without prompting from us and talk to us about the change in numbers. Just in case, don't know if we've actually seen the validation or not. You're making sure that we know exactly the impact that the work that your team is doing and having. So keeping us aware of that sometimes even before we're aware of it ourselves. Like I said, good faith, honesty, and just being on top of things. That's what you guys have been. And also kind of a good advisor in the process. Like we've tried to pick out certain pieces of content and directions and format styles that didn't make a lot of sense, but we didn't realize that. But because you're in the thick of it and working with these things every day, we very quickly understood that your way of looking at things was the better way to do it. So we've appreciated the expertise and the guidance.
Absolutely. It's obviously my pleasure. That's what we do. So I know we have a lot of content still sort of in the pipeline waiting to be live, but so far from the stuff we did publish, what has been your overall opinion on the quality and the results we've seen so far from that?
Pretty thrilled. I'd say this even if we weren't making a video about it. When I report on it, I mentioned SEO is a long game, right? And that's what we're doing here. But most of this stuff got indexed in under 6 weeks. Not only did it get indexed, but it started getting hundreds of clicks the first month. That's wild. So you're talking about hundreds of clicks at the bottom of the funnel immediately. That also very conspicuously correlate with revenue impact as well. So it's all lining up. The results already seem to be there. And it's the type of results that you would expect from it too. Meaning, I would say, if I were being honest, when we pursued these things in the past, bottom of funnel wasn't really our approach, right? We're thinking vanity metrics. We're thinking the big numbers at the top. Like we have some pretty generic terms that we rank well for. And the idea was always, what can we do with this traffic? And the answer is nothing.
It's because I know what you're saying, because when we were doing the content audit for you guys, I noticed you guys had a really strong glossary section. You guys were ranking several terms top 3 for like glossary terms, like just general email marketing terms. And those are generating great amounts of traffic and backlinks. So there is an SEO value to that, but in terms of like tying it back to revenue, you're absolutely right.
There's no intent there. So if you want, that is really good for early on in the funnel. But if you are looking to reinforce and supplement the bottom of the funnel, the gate to your transactional aspirations, it's this type of content, and ironically the low volume numbers that make the difference. Here's a true story. The first impact that we got from this, I didn't realize the source, because we have a high volume site and it's a lot of traffic. So it was like this little sliver of incrementality that crept in, and it was so small. Like I had to pause and be like, why is this month so good? And start putting it back together and realizing it was this bottom of the funnel supplementation.
Yeah. Excuse me. Cool. If we're nearing the end here, I also wanted to touch a little bit about our Reddit marketing and what we've been doing on that front. That's a service we launched recently, 5-6 months near the time we started together. And I was very curious to know what your thoughts on that has been in terms of communication with the team, results you've seen from that, and the overall engagements we're making on your behalf.
It's really nice. Okay. Like we've all thought about doing some sort of Reddit engagement, but what you do instead of like Robby creating a Campaign Monitor branded account or posting on my individual account or finding a few buddies, you're like throwing a net across out the internet and finding people with established Reddit accounts that have credibility, and you are coercing them to our cause in good faith. So you're then implanting these people and giving them this opportunity to participate again at the bottom of the funnel, kind of one of the final transactional gates of validation. All of the posting has been pretty honest. You guys are up to date on our brand voice and our guidelines, and you do it with minimal direction from us. You give us a note once a week with all the posts. So we just get to sit back and feel good about it without doing anything.
Mm-hmm. Okay.
So, I mean, that's a pretty solid deal.
Happy to hear that. Final questions here. If another SaaS marketing executive or founder asked you why they should work with us, what would you tell them?
Well, it is generally, I won't say it explicitly here because this recording has to live on forever. But, in terms of the cost and quality multiple for the output, it's simply unbeatable. You need, in this environment, to have some production value for your content. The days of just writing text and a couple of images are over. But what you guys do is you put something stylish out there that's good for us to use. And if another market, like we've expanded our contract with you 3 times in 5 months. So I'm telling executives across 2 brands. So I tell people, you're never going to get this quality of content at this rate or speed. I mean, Sprint 1, we walked away with 15 articles. What's the value of 15 articles? And it's a lot. And the reason is, it's not like they're all competing with each other. They're all at the bottom of one particular funnel. Some of them are going to get 5 clicks. Some of them are going to get 40. They all, in aggregate, add up to a big impact to the bottom of the funnel.
That's great to hear. And final question, very similar to the last one, but slightly different. Would you say that we are an SEO partner that you would recommend to others and would work with long-term as needed?
Absolutely. I look for opportunities to introduce you guys when the situation warrants. Even when I'm thinking about what I want to do in the future, I definitely think, we should definitely bring Talk to Talk along. So you guys are definitely on our minds. You know the SEO discipline, you know the landscape very well. It's hard to imagine someone is going to be your overall package of just quality, attentiveness, and price. You're positioned well.
Great. I'm flustered. Thank you so much. Ladies and gentlemen, it's been a great 13 minutes and 30 seconds. Robby, thank you so much for coming on and sharing your 2 cents here. I appreciate it highly. You guys have also been really great to us. I've just loved the way we've worked together in the past couple months. Spencer and everybody else, great communication. It's just always been, oftentimes a lot of companies with as the size of yours, it's very easy to get distracted with several other things and then reply like a week or 2 later or whatnot. You guys have also been really, really great with that. And so I have to also give credit where it's due. You guys also take it very seriously. And it's overall been a really, really great experience on the agency side as well of working with you guys as a client.
Awesome. All right. Well, thanks for having me. When we wrap this up, I actually have a request for a future sprint.
Yeah. We'll discuss that on Slack then.
All right. Sounds good.
Awesome. Cool. Just going to pause recording.